Okay, hello everyone, Clarke Towson here. I'm the CEO of INTJ Billing. In this video today, I'd like to discuss a couple of charts that I found on a number of prominent Bitcoin people's Twitter pages. So, title of this video is Bitcoin is on track for its first billion users soon. So I've got a chart here. First chart is from Willy Woo over at Woonomic. Yeah, Woonomic on screen now. So this is from a Twitter post that Willy Woo made a couple of days ago. You can see the adoption curves here. You can see the world population, and you can see the internet users, and then you can see Bitcoin, right? So Woo has done an independent study, and he's extrapolated a Cambridge study, and it puts us at about 575 million Bitcoin users worldwide as a minimum estimate. And if we are at that figure, that puts us at around 2002 in internet years in terms of where the internet was on screen now, where the internet was back in 2002 in terms of number of users. July 2002, the number of internet users hit around 569 million worldwide. Now, it took another 3 years for the number of internet users to surpass 1 billion. So we've got another graph here, and this is from a person on Twitter, Vivek for Real, and he's posted an interesting graph here. And this graph, you can see, shows the growth of Bitcoin is outpacing the growth of the internet. So very, very interesting when you see the curves, right? Bitcoin has achieved more within a shorter space of time. Very interesting. Now, if we think about the technology adoption life cycle, innovation adoption life cycle, a worldwide cryptocurrency ownership figure of 12.3%, and that's where we currently are. On screen now, I've got this other graph. Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, he posted this on Twitter a couple of days ago. Shows the graph, the ownership of cryptocurrency, and I thought that graph was very interesting because it shows Thailand at 22.1% of the population owning crypto, which is higher than Australia at 14.6%. And isn't it interesting when you look at the economies that have got the highest rate of cryptocurrency ownership? Those economies, there's issues there, right? So you see Turkey. Turkey is way up there. Now, obviously, Turkey has got a massive problem with inflation. I was actually in Turkey about 3 years ago. I went over there for a hair transplant, which went quite well. I was very pleased with the results. When I went there, however, the surgeon, before I actually went over, the surgeon said to me, "We need you to pay us in cash, in Australian dollars." Well, that's a bit odd. I didn't understand at the time why they wanted me to do that, but I obliged. I took over the money in Australian dollars in cash, and I literally handed the cash to the guy. A year or so later, actually, at the time after that request was made, I looked into it and I saw that they were suffering from high inflation. So no surprises there that Turkey is a big adopter of Bitcoin, right? Given the inflation of their local currency. Yeah, so if you think about it, though, that figure of 12.3% of worldwide cryptocurrency ownership, that puts us in the early adopter phase, all right? And of course, this is important. It's an important phase where the innovations that were developed just a few years ago come to market, and the early adopters in this stage of the life cycle are here to use those services that were created a couple of years ago. And of course, INTJ Billing, my company's service, is one of those. The R&D happened a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. Now, looking back and thinking about the early internet, here today in 2022, it's the same story with Bitcoin, where people are looking at the technology, thinking about where it fits, what its use cases are, whether it will be around for the future or not, and asking questions about it, with, of course, nerds like myself and other nerds in the space leading the way on it to show business people where it can be utilized within their business, either as a payment technology or as a store of value and reserve treasury reserve asset on a business's balance sheet. Right? Yeah, so same situation as the early 2000s here in 2022. If you think about technology, internet, growth of the internet, people asking questions about it back then. Where is the internet going? What does that technology mean for society? What does it mean for my business? What does it mean for me? Same thing today with Bitcoin, same sort of questions. As we say over here, to use a Thai expression, same, right? Same, mid 90s to early 2000s, right? So yeah, that's all I really wanted to discuss in this video. I think it's interesting to look at a technology and see where we're currently at and think about the opportunities that that presents. If you're watching my videos, you're one of the early adopters, right? One of the early adopters. You're here for this phase of the innovation adoption life cycle. Being here in this phase, you're able to take advantage of developments within this early stage. Of course, I was here 5 years ago, which was clearly in the innovator stage. Obviously, the knowledge, the skills, the experience that I built up doing all that research and development back years ago has made its way into what I'm currently doing today over here in Thailand. So, of course, this is the job of a computer scientist. This is the stuff that we do. We spend a lot of time in research, in academia. Obviously, people like me are not usually found out working in the general public. We're usually back in academia or our scientific research organizations, as I was explaining to a person today. So, yeah, but all that R&D is coming to the forefront now with the series of videos, Bitcoin is for Everyone, and the other research that I present on my website, and obviously in the service that I'm providing, putting the word on the soy out in soy 6 about what can we achieve with BTC Pay. BTC Pay, of course, being a relatively early piece of software in its innovation adoption life cycle as well. New product, only 3 or 4 years old. Of course, integration of the Lightning Network into it, even newer. So yeah, just keep in mind where we're at. We are still in the early adopter phase when it comes to crypto as a whole, and I think we need to recognize that. Part of my role is to help educate people, of course. Wanted to make this series of videos to put them all out there. One of the reasons I wanted to do this was so I didn't have to constantly repeat myself to numerous business people over time, right? Far better just to put all the research out there for free on the internet in a series of videos and then point people to the videos. And when they're ready to make a decision, they pick up the phone and call me, which is the reason my phone number's in all these videos as well. Easy to contact the CEO. How many CEOs are out there to give their phone number and their email address in their videos, right? It'll probably come back to haunt me in the future, though. You know, if the service I provide grows, greatly grows, that might be an issue with a lot of people calling me. Hopefully, by that stage, I'll have somebody behind a phone who's able to easily answer those calls from the general public. But at the moment, the calls come straight through to me. Yeah, so keep an eye on Bitcoin and where it's going and where it is in its adoption life cycle. Think about where we're currently at as as early adopters, pioneers within the space. Me, of course, providing the pioneering, groundbreaking innovation out there on the soy in soy 6, being exceptionally early, even though we're a little bit further along the curve, that we're at the early adopter phase. If you think about the ownership of cryptocurrency, a lot of the people who are buying and owning crypto at this stage are using it for, or speculating on it, as a store of value. Obviously, Bitcoin is the only store of value out there. It's an emerging store of value. We're a couple of years away from it becoming a medium of exchange. As I've said, I believe I'm 25 to 7 years too early over here in Thailand doing this groundbreaking pioneering work. But I think that ownership is really interesting. People are holding it and not so much using it for payments at the moment, but in the future, of course, they will. And at that point when they will, that is why we're here with B2C Pay. And of course, being the adult industry and being sexual services, we need to have our own server, and we can't be utilizing any other third party's server to do this kind of pioneering payments work. So anyway, that's it for me. All the best, everyone. I'm Clarke Towson, CEO of INTJ Billing.